this video we'll be talking about using black walnut to treat a yeast infection. Perhaps one of the primary reasons why walnuts in general will work to treat a yeast infection is because walnuts produce a chemical called Juglone. And Juglone is an allelochemical, which means it's produced by the walnut tree to inhibit the growth of surrounding organisms. And if you're a gardener and you've had a walnut tree in your yard, you probably have seen the effects of Juglone on the plants that live around that walnut tree. James Selmer, professor of horticulture at Penn State University, says that all walnuts will produce some Juglone. And the Juglone in a walnut is primarily found in the buds, leaves, stems, nut holes, and the roots. So any of these parts of the walnut plant should be capable of treating a yeast infection. However, the nut holes of the walnuts, that green outer, it's called an epicarp, that surrounds the walnut seed, is going to be the place that contains the most Juglone in probably most walnut trees. So as a result, you really want to try to get that nut hull used in your decoction or an extract of the nut hull of a walnut tree. This is going to be the most effective treatment for yeast infection because it will contain the highest amounts of Juglone. A 2006 study published in Chemistry and Industry of Forest Products found the prevalence of Juglone in various sections of a walnut species. The study found that the nut hull contained the most Juglone, followed by the leaves, and then finally the bark. So again, you really want to focus on using the green nut hull of the walnut in your yeast infection treatment. So let's take a look at some research that's been published that shows just how well walnut can be used to treat a Candida problem. A 2010 study published in Planta Medica sought to see how well walnut hulls would work as antifungals. The study used 5 different species of Candida, so it was fairly comprehensive and should apply well to the type of species of Candida that's currently attacking your body. The study found that the volatile chemicals extracted from the black walnut husks work better at killing Candida albicans, tropicalis, and cruzi than the prescription antifungal drug fluconazole. And all the species of Candida that the black walnut husk extracts were tested on were successfully inhibited by this natural remedy. Another study, a 2010 paper published in the European Journal of Clinical Infectious Diseases and Microbiology, also sought to determine how well walnut would work as an antifungal against various yeasts. The study used 48 different strains of Candida that encompassed 15 different species. Of these strains, 15 of them were Candida albicans. The walnut species used in the study was English walnut, or Juglans regia, and they used extracts of the bark of this plant. Now, the bark probably contains the lowest amount of Juglone, so we can expect that other parts of the plant would work even better than the bark extracts used in this study. The researchers used 3 different solvents to dissolve the bark in, and they found that just a few milligrams of the bark extract was capable of totally killing all the Candida species it was tested on. The yeast Candida albicans was found to be the most sensitive to the English walnut bark extracts. And since about 70 to 80% of all yeast infections are caused by the species Candida albicans, walnut should be a perfect remedy to use when treating almost all yeast infections. So how do you use it? Well, if you do have some black walnut husks, you can peel the husk away from the nut and just put it in a pan, fill the pan up with husks and then add enough water so it covers the husks and just simmer it for 20 to 30 minutes. After it's done simmering, you can strain the liquid away and you can begin to use it topically on the area that you have yeast infecting. Some side effects of black walnut include allergic reactions. The American Cancer Society says that if you're allergic to tree nuts, especially pecans, you may also be allergic to black walnut. So be careful if you do have an allergy to tree nuts and talk to a doctor before you use black walnut. If you're unsure about your allergic reaction to black walnut, you can take some of that liquid you made in the decoction, or perhaps you have a black walnut essential oil, and just put a tiny bit on your skin and see how it reacts. That's called a patch test. And if you find that you don't have any adverse reactions, you can begin using more. It should be safe. If you're taking several prescription drugs, you may want to talk to a doctor about your use of black walnut before you ingest any of that liquid. It may not be safe to drink while you're on other prescription medications. The renowned herbalist, Dr. James Duke, in his book, The Green Pharmacy, recommends mixing multiple herbs together to create a synergistic healing effect. Duke cites several studies that show that 2 or more essential oils derived from plants often work better than just a single plant oil would by itself. So if you have other essential oils or candicidal herbs around, add them into your remedy and you should be able to get an even better treatment than just using, say, black walnut by itself. Well, for more information about black walnut, you can check out Candida Hub's article. The link is right below in the description. And you can also learn about a natural 12-hour solution for yeast infections that works very fast. And you can also see some of the studies that were used to create this video at the page listed in the description. Well, thanks so much for watching. Hope you get better soon. See ya.